Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the privacy edition. And we also have some security stuff as well. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you would like to catch the show live. But let's go ahead and jump right on in. First, we have an update. Google, we announced this a few months back that Google was looking at actually creating Google bank accounts under the name of Plex. I'm wondering what Plex actually had to say about that. Are they going to bow down because it's Google or whatever else? But they don't think they have to worry about it anymore because Google has abandoned its plan. Apparently, well over half the staff involved in Google Pay quit. A whole lot of weird stuff happened, and basically the entire Google Pay system, very much like the old Apple Pay type system, has completely died. Woohoo! Praise the Lord. Some people were all concerned about the security and the privacy issues. I mean, Google, you have to understand, Google and Facebook already get data on credit card usage and things like that. And they use this data in order to determine the effectiveness of ads and target people and things like this. When you go and swipe your credit card somewhere, Google and Facebook get the majority of that data already. This is Google actually working directly with banks. And some of it were like Stanford Federal Credit Union. I don't know how good they are. It's a credit union, so they're usually better. Citigroup is listed as one of the worst banks in the world, and there were some other ones. However, despite the privacy concerns, over 400,000 morons joined into the waiting list for this. I don't know why. I don't know why you would want to specifically give all of your banking information explicitly to Google, but there you have it. It is now dead, and we don't have to worry about it. So that's the good news. Well, the bad news, particularly for those of us in FOSS and Linux, is Mozilla has released in the brand new, just released Firefox 93, which has probably been pushed to most of your systems already if you're doing updates. Firefox Suggest. Firefox Suggest actually shares your data with third-party trusted partners. Now, we're not going to mention a whole lot of this here because I have a whole deep dive video of this. I explain it in far more detail, and then we actually go into Firefox, we look at what it looks like, and then we look at how to disable it. I have that video premiering tomorrow, which would be October 9th, 2021. So if you're seeing this in the future, that video is already out. If you're watching this live, it will be tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time. Just as a brief little thing, what happens is when you type in a search term in the address bar, which they actually call, I learned, the awesome bar. You type in the awesome bar, it's going to look at local history, bookmarks, things like this, and then it's going to first look for default search web providers, and then it's going to send data to Mozilla, and then Mozilla is going to trade data with partners, and it's going to provide links. And when you go in and click one of the links, Mozilla is actually going to share some of your private data with that partner. This is now live. Now, according to this, it says, a small percentage of U.S. people have been opted into this for testing. But as of 93, which just released a couple days ago, this is now pushed live to everybody. And I showed how it worked and how it was actually using my search history to show Firefox recommends things. They talk here about the data that's collected, search queries and suggestion imprints. Firefox Suggest sends Mozilla, may as well send Microsoft too, but Mozilla search terms and information about engagement with Firefox Suggest, some of which may be shared with partners to provide and improve the suggested content. Clicks on suggestions. When a user clicks on a suggestion, Mozilla receives notice they selected suggested links were clicked. And location. Mozilla collects city-level location data along with searches in order to properly serve location-sensitive queries. Again, that's all we're going to talk about that here. I have a whole specific video on this later on this week. But for those of you using Firefox, be aware that now Firefox is legitimately collecting your data and sending it to their trusted advertising partners. And we all know we can trust them. All right. From Business Insider, hopefully this isn't locked. All right, good. So from Business Insider, Amazon is working on a smart refrigerator. So if you know anything about the tech that is involved in, for example, grocery stores, grocery store tech is very amazing. And some of it you know about and some of it you don't. Well, some of the things that refrigerators will do in the grocery stores, depending on how technologically advanced the store is, they actually might be tracking your eye movements, seeing what you're looking at, and even measuring your demeanor. I mean, am I a person that's really looking for pizza rolls, or am I looking for a place to take a dump? Yes, that really happened. You're welcome. I left it out of the news a couple weeks ago. But in reality, these refrigerators work. Well, Amazon is working on one that is very similar, not only just to that, but also to the technology they're using in the Amazon Go stores. And when you open up your refrigerator and take something out, it is actually going to be able to monitor what you buy. It's going to make suggestions, automatically reorder items for you, and maybe even suggest products or recipes based on things that you have in the refrigerator. Now, there's been some speculation about whether or not they're going to actually deploy this, but it is something that they have been working on for a little bit now. The fridge, initially codenamed Project Pulse, is designed to track the inventory and purchase habits, predict what you want, and have it delivered. System will be able to automatically notify you of certain repeat purchase things like eggs are close to running out or nearing the expiration dates. So it could also make ordering those products easier through Amazon Fresh or Whole Foods. So now we have the ability to have a smart refrigerator, which is logging and tracking everything that we are able to do. Yeah, that is a thing. And finally, the European Parliament opposes mass surveillance, calls for a ban on facial recognition tech in public. And one of the things that they mention is a disdain for America. Like right now, America is like looking like it is becoming like the third world country. Honestly, I'm thinking of all the dystopian movies, V for Vendetta might actually be the closest to our future reality. We have a dystopian government took control of the population by poisoning them with illnesses, we shall say, and then providing the therapies. And then, of course, in that, as a side story, America has become this giant wasteland of nonsense and has been completely conquered because, you know, we all know that we have the most popular commander-in-chief in the history of the universe over here in America who is completely sharp, mental acuity out the roof, as long as he's eating some ice cream. But all that being said, one of the things that they're saying in here is that, yeah, they're really concerned that all of these companies like Clearview and Facebook and all these companies that are doing this type of tech are all American companies, and they seem to be completely out of control. And so what the European Union is trying to do is putting a permanent ban on any use of automated facial recognition technologies in any public spaces. European citizens, they say, should only be monitored when they're suspected of a crime. Predictive policing as well as social score systems like those found in China are also on the chopping block. So this is making me want to move to the EU somewhere. Not really, but you know what I mean. And so they had concerns in here about Clearview AI and private databases specifically. And really, they're wanting to do away with these types of functions. So this is good. It passed a preliminary vote, and that means that now the MPs have to get together, decide what all this exactly means, and then they have to start working on what the actual law would look like. So there is EU's plan to ban mass surveillance. Well, if you'd like to help support the channel, we do have affiliates, and today we are highlighting Linode. So tlm.li/Linode will give you $100 in credit. This is good for 60 days. You can spin up as many Linodes as you want. You can create your own Nextcloud, create your own VPN, your own hosting platforms, all sorts of fun things you can do with this, and this will give you a really good idea to test out the services, see if they have what you need. tlm.li/Linode. Now let's go ahead and have a look at our security news. So first up in security, just a brief little update. Anybody using a Medtronic insulin pump, there is an urgent recall. These are available to hackers can get in and they can actually get in there and dose you with insulin. So this is a huge security call. So if you are using a Medtronic insulin pump, reach out to the company and see if you are affected by this. And moving on to the actual breaches and other security news, Neiman Marcus had a breach in May of 2020, including millions of payment card numbers and expiration dates. And it is supposed that they didn't tell anybody about it because they were just under a bankruptcy and were maybe trying to make themselves look possible for a sale. And then that would have been really bad in the middle of all this. But what they end up saying is... 5 million customer accounts included payment card numbers, expiration dates, and other personally identifiable information was leaked out of Neiman Marcus. And they didn't disclose it for over a year. Now, by this time, about 85% of them are expired or invalid. Of course, the personal information is going to be valid. But with that being said, we need to make sure that you're being careful with that data. And this is why I prefer to use cash everywhere I possibly can use cash. I just don't want to have cards floating around that can be caught up in these data breaches. I'd rather just go in. You don't need to know my name. We're just exchanging this. Here's cash. Give me my product and we're done. This way, my information does not get caught up in these databases. 6,000 Coinbase accounts were impacted by a social engineering hack. This was a flaw specifically if you were using SMS to verify your 2FA for your account. They were able to co-opt this and take over several accounts. They end up stealing a lot of money, but the good news about this, Coinbase releases the information very quickly, and they have a policy to refund anything that was stolen due to a hack. And so none of the customers are going to lose anything here. But just another brief reminder, SMS is the worst possible way to have 2FA. Now, a lot of people are sitting here saying, well, it's better than nothing. I disagree. I'd rather not have 2FA than have SMS. There are way better ways to have 2FA. I like your fun security questions because you can make up random gibberish for every site. I like YubiKeys and other hardware keys. I like authenticator apps. I like alternate email addresses. All of these are way better options than using SMS, especially since, where is it? It's one of the stories we had here tonight. Is it the next one? Oh, yes, that's right. The company that routes SMS for every major U.S. carrier was hacked for 5 years. Every text message went through they possibly had. But the company is being very quiet. They won't tell us if they have the information. They just don't want us to know. They're like, well, this information is between us and our customers who are all the U.S. carriers. The carriers are going, we don't think anything was released, but nobody's really telling us. So literally nobody knows anything about this one hack about a company that nobody's ever heard of, which is the one in the middle of transmitting everybody's SMS messages, including all your 2FA. Yay! This is why I'd rather not have it at all. Thank you very much. Again, information is completely missing, but basically any text message you sent via SMS for the last 5 years, it is possible that hackers have it, but they have not confirmed they have it. They said, we don't think anybody has it. They won't tell us what was breached. They won't tell us what was hacked. They just know that for 5 years, people were hacking and stealing and having access to this information. They're just not telling us exactly what that is. So I don't know. Maybe this is a case where the government needs to sweep in and, stamp this company out. But of course, based on what happened with Equihacks, that's not going to happen. Well, there is a new Trojan for Android. You might have to be an incompetent buffoon to get this on your device, but if it does get on your device, it can completely take over your phone. So just to be aware of this. Why do I say you kind of have to be stupid to get it? Well, what it is it's a random SMS message. that is telling you need to, and it's dealing with needlecraft appointments and such like that. But what it's doing is when you click on the needlecraft appointment link that they text you, because of course we all are getting text messages for needlecraft these days, it's going to send you to a place which tells you, oh, your Adobe Flash player is out of date. Click this to update it. Just an FYI, guys, Adobe Flash died over a year ago now, or was it, I don't know, beginning of this year? I don't know. The years are merging together at this point in time. Adobe Flash has died a long time ago, and Adobe Flash has not been supported on any smartphone since 2012. 2012. Adobe Flash is not something ever on a smartphone, period. Like Apple never had it. But if you go ahead and click on this link to update your Adobe Flash player that doesn't exist, then you will have been taken over by Tanglebot, which has taken over the entirety of your phone. So there you have it, guys. Be careful of any SMS message dealing with needlecraft, even if you might be expecting one such message. Tell them, no, do not text me. Do something else. So here's actually a few of the examples. You have received the appointment for the 3rd dose. Woohoo! For more information, visit, and there's a link there. You've received your appointment for, there's another one, same one. And then the last one, a power outage will occur in your area. More info. Oh, okay. You get some power outage links too. Guys, just don't click anything some random number texts you from. Really, just avoid the SMS altogether. And finally, well, apparently SubscribeStar's down right now. So I do have a SubscribeStar account, unless, of course, it was just taken off the internet. So subscribestar.com/SwitchedToLinux, but it can't be findable right this second. Unless I just typed something in wrong. That's also a possibility. Like I said, internet issues when I was just starting up. So anyway, you can help support the channel over on SubscribeStar if it happens to still be a thing at SwitchedToLinux. So thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time. Thank you for watching this video from SwitchedToLinux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.